In a world where data pulses like lightning and machines whisper in the dark, cybercross emerges a realm where innovation collides with imagination, and every spark of code ignites the future. Now, let's dive into the story. In a quiet corner of 19th century Germany, a child was born who would one day reshape the boundaries of human knowledge. His name was Albert Einstein, a boy who would challenge centuries of science, break the rules of physics, and prove that the power of imagination could rewrite the laws of the universe. What if one mind could bend time, curve space, and unlock the secrets of the cosmos? What if behind the messy hair and distant eyes was a revolution waiting to explode? This is not just the story of a scientist. This is the journey of the man who dared to dream beyond the stars. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in Ulm, Germany, to a modest Jewish family. From the beginning, he seemed different. He spoke late, moved slowly, and often stared into the distance as if listening to something invisible whispering to him. When he was 5, his father gave him a simple compass. The needle's mysterious pull toward the north sparked a lifelong obsession with unseen forces. That small, spinning arrow planted a seed of wonder that would later grow into world-changing theories. At school, Einstein clashed with rigid teaching methods. He hated memorization, preferring to ask questions that had no answers. Teachers thought he was lazy, even hopeless, but in truth, his mind was racing far ahead of them all. By age 12, he had taught himself geometry, algebra, and calculus. He would lie awake at night, imagining riding alongside a beam of light. These private thought experiments became the foundation of his genius. At 15, his father's business failed and the family moved to Italy. Einstein dropped out of school in Germany and followed, wandering through cities with a notebook full of equations and a head full of dreams. He later applied to the Swiss Federal Polytechnic in Zurich and was accepted despite his unconventional background. There, he met like-minded friends who fueled his hunger for knowledge and debate. After graduation, he struggled to find work. No university wanted to hire a rebellious young man who defied tradition. Eventually, he found a quiet job as a patent clerk in Bern, far from the world of professors and laboratories. Yet it was in that tiny office, surrounded by paperwork, that he would change the world. In 1905, his so-called Annus Mirabilis, or miracle year, he published 4 revolutionary papers. One explained the photoelectric effect, proving light could behave like particles. This won him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921. Another introduced the special theory of relativity, shattering classical physics. From this came the legendary equation E equals m squared, showing that energy and mass are 2 forms of the same thing. It revealed that even the tiniest particle holds enormous power enough to change the fate of nations. Einstein became a professor, teaching in Zurich, Prague, and Berlin. By 1915, he completed the general theory of relativity, predicting that massive objects bend space-time itself. In 1919, during a solar eclipse, astronomers confirmed his prediction. Light from distant stars bent around the sun, just as he said. Overnight, newspapers declared him a genius. Fame crashed upon him like a tidal wave. Reporters chased him, students worshipped him, and the world embraced his wild-haired image as the face of brilliance. Yet Einstein remained humble, more interested in ideas than applause. Beneath the fame, he faced storms. As a Jewish intellectual in Germany, he became a target of rising Nazi hatred. When they came to power, Einstein knew he had to flee. In 1933, he left Germany forever and settled in the United States at Princeton University. There, he finally found peace and freedom to think. Yet the world grew darker. In 1939, fearing Nazi scientists might build a bomb, He co-signed a letter to Franklin D. Roosevelt urging research. That letter birthed the Manhattan Project. Einstein himself never worked on the bomb, but when atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki destroyed cities, he felt deep guilt. He called his letter the one great mistake of my life. From then on, he fought for peace. He urged the world to dismantle nuclear weapons and warned that science, without conscience, could destroy humanity. Even as a celebrity, Einstein lived simply. He wore old clothes, hated luxury, and preferred sailing and playing the violin to attending banquets. In his later years, he searched for a unified field theory, a single equation to unite all forces of nature. Though he never solved it, he worked tirelessly until the end. He rejected political power, even turning down an offer to become president of Israel. "I have no head for politics," he said, "only for equations." On April 18, 1955, Albert Einstein died quietly at age he refused surgery, saying he wanted to go naturally, like a man who had made peace with the universe he once shook. Scientists preserved his brain, hoping to find the source of his brilliance. They found unusual structures, but nothing could explain the spark that drove him. Because Einstein's power was never just his brain, it was his courage to imagine what others considered impossible. He showed the world that curiosity could break walls, that stubborn wonder could rewrite reality itself. His ideas still echo through our lives. GPS satellites rely on his relativity equations. Nuclear power rests on his energy-mass link. Even black hole research was born from his predictions. Yet Einstein never saw himself as a genius. He said he was just passionately curious, a boy still chasing the mystery of a spinning compass. Beyond science, he fought for civil rights, supported refugees, and spoke out against racism and oppression. He believed knowledge meant nothing without humanity. Our task, he said, must be to free ourselves from the prison of the self by widening our circle of compassion. While others sought fame, Einstein sought truth. While others sought power, he sought understanding. Even in old age, he laughed easily, played music, and delighted in simple pleasures, as if genius and joy could live in the same soul. His messy hair became a symbol, but behind it was discipline, relentless effort, and decades of failure and triumph. Every breakthrough he made was born not from certainty, but from doubt, the courage to question what everyone else accepted. Einstein proved that science is not about answers, but about daring to ask better questions. He believed imagination was more important than knowledge, because knowledge is limited, but imagination embraces the entire world. That belief carried him from the silence of childhood to the roar of global fame, from loneliness to immortality. And though he became a symbol, he never stopped being human, flawed, funny, kind, stubborn, and endlessly curious. His life teaches us that genius is not born from privilege or perfection, but from passion and perseverance. Einstein's journey reminds us that the greatest revolutions begin as quiet questions in a restless mind. That wonder is the first step toward greatness, and courage is the second. That even one person, armed only with ideas, can shake the foundations of the world. From a silent child to a scientific legend, Einstein proved that limits exist only until someone dares to cross them. He showed that dreaming is not escaping reality, it is the first step to changing it, and that no obstacle can stop a mind set on discovering truth. His story is not just history, it is a mirror, showing what any of us might become if we never stop asking why. This is the legacy of Albert Einstein, not just equations, but the courage to imagine. As Einstein once said, the important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. What an extraordinary journey! From a quiet boy staring at a spinning compass to a mind that reshaped our understanding of the universe. Albert Einstein showed us that curiosity can defy limits, And imagination can change destiny. His story reminds us, even one question can change the world if we dare to ask it. This story inspired you. Share it with the world. Subscribe for more journeys through history's greatest minds and keep your imagination alive. Because like Einstein, you might just change the world.